Hey guys, red and black greetings. This is Flamengo. Welcome to the Paparazzo Rubro Negro channel. If you're just arriving, I invite you to follow, like, and share on all platforms. If you're on YouTube, I invite you to subscribe down below, turn on the notification bell, and leave that awesome like on the video. I'm going to leave some Flamengo sleeveless tank tops here on YouTube shopping for you to enjoy in the heat of Rio de Janeiro. It's already hot here too. Just a reminder that our sponsors are listed in the pinned comment. Haroldo's Caravan. You can travel with Haroldo's Caravan, including in Rio de Janeiro, with reception and ticket included in Haroldo's Caravan. And also for games outside of Rio de Janeiro, you can buy the full package with the Caravan. There are no complaints, it's a serious company. And also to remind you that you can lose weight in a healthy way with Mais Cabello, the Mais Slim program, okay? You can lose weight without hair loss. Look, the perfect treatment from Mais Cabello. And you can also do the hair treatment. You can get a free evaluation. There's also a link in the pinned comment. Look, a debate gained space in the Rubro Negra media this week. It was already gaining a lot of attention, but especially after the defeat in Argentina to Lanús. I've already mentioned here that Flamengo also lost in the Libertadores and became champions. They lost by 1 goal. And I'm not downplaying the fact that Flamengo isn't playing well. Flamengo isn't playing well. I'm not minimizing that. Especially Flamengo's defensive sector. Felipe, I like to say defensive phase. It's not working. It's really bad. But it's his fault because he doesn't know how to choose the best ones who are playing in defense. Alexandro has struggled since the year began. Viña isn't doing well at River either, but why was Viña released? Since neither Alexandro nor Ayrton Lucas is doing well at the start of this season, could Viña suddenly work at Flamengo? Wouldn't he be motivated and make it work? But the question is about the choices, right? Why not Vitão? Why not Danilo? If Leo Pereira and Leo Ortiz are underperforming, especially Leo Ortiz, then all of this comes down to choices, right? Honestly, the ball isn't reaching the attack because Arrascaeta still isn't in great form. Throughout the year, he's been improving as the season goes on, but we can see that the blame really isn't on the striker. Like I said earlier, even the article from Globo Esporte, which is Flamengo's management, look here, look what Flamengo's management understands, right? Look here, they understand that the blame is actually on the defense, which in the previous year conceded way fewer goals. The defensive line positioned itself much better, the defensive phase worked better, and the ball would reach the attack. Even Flamengo, which missed a lot of goals. You remember people used to say that Flamengo missed a lot of goals, even missing a lot of goals, right? Yeah? The plays were created, there was creativity. You had Arrascaeta in his best season ever at Flamengo. You had Flamengo's midfield. With Jorginho working really well, Pulgar, in my opinion, is still doing very well now. Felipe Luiz's defensive choices made Flamengo lose the game, made Flamengo enter this phase. Everton Araujo, for example, who's in great form, can't be taken out of the team, and in Argentina, it would have been very important to have Everton Araujo, for example. Cebolinha. He can't be taken out of the game for Samuel Lino to come in, or at worst for Bruno Henrique to come in, who is amazing in that position on the left but hasn't been used on the left. All because of Felipe Luiz's convictions, which he mentioned in a press conference, that he wishes to recover. Samuel Lino, as everyone knows, came from Atletico de Madrid, a club Felipe is closely connected to. It was Felipe Luiz's request, and he doesn't want it to be blamed on him that it was a signing he asked for. If Samuel Lino doesn't work out, he said in the press conference he wants it to, so we have to make it happen, right? We have to get Samuel Lino back on track, so it's about Felipe Luiz's convictions and decisions. Whether in defense or midfield, which I already said was a mistake and he didn't keep Everton. Araujo, who did well in the recent games he played and still in the choices, right? In the substitutions he makes. In the case of De La Cruz, who came in for Luis Araujo, who was the one covering the right side, which is where the cross for Lanús's goal came from. The player who lost the ball is De La Cruz, who just came in. These choices by Felipe Luis, right? They've been really bad. Why did De La Cruz come in and not Everton? Araujo? But Flamengo needed a goal. No, at that moment it was 0-0, and it was actually a pretty reasonable result. And you closed the midfield, played for a single chance, maybe you could even get a win. Like what could have happened in the play that led to their goal. Because Flamengo had the chance to set up an interesting attack there, but in the end, De La Cruz lost the ball. So these convictions of Felipe Luís are ruining Flamengo's year. It's these wrong decisions by Felipe Luís. And then people talk a lot. Felipe Luís lost the group. It's not about losing the group. That's not how it works with soccer players. Today, it's extremely individual. Everyone takes care of their own life. There's no such thing as a group. Oh, he lost the group. Oh, I don't know what. No, guys, there's no such thing as losing the group. He didn't lose any group. Oh, he lost the group. With his statement about racism, no, it was just unfortunate since he didn't explain in his statement. He didn't explain about the issue of the isolated incident. He didn't explain about it being one person's word against another's. Yeah, Mauro even talked about that, but that's not the point. The point is, he didn't fall out with the group. He didn't lose the group. Because of that, he fell out with Flamengo's fans. Flamengo's fans didn't approve. Flamengo's fans were very upset with Felipe Luiz's statements. And then what do you see, company? The coach spoke for 12 minutes about racism and defended Vinicius Jr. That was everything we expected Felipe Luís to have done at the press conference. Coach of Flamengo, the team that revealed Vinicius Jr., the team that we know that most of the fans are black, we know that most of the fans are humble, and we know that they suffer from racism. Even in songs from rival fans, Vasco supporters like to say that Vasco was the first club to accept black players and all that. But their song, which calls us Mulambo and all that, has a prejudiced intention behind it. Because it talks about the team, about suckers and Chesso. PVA, it says all that, there's homophobia, there's everything in the song they sing. Tricolores, Vasco fans, and Botafogo fans, and all the other clubs too, all the fans of other clubs too. So we face prejudice at the games, especially in Argentina, in the stands, from Argentine fans and from Argentine players. So Felipe couldn't miss the opportunity to speak, an opportunity that Guardiola and especially company didn't miss and did very well. So I saw João Pedro Sombra saying that Felipe Luís might get booed for the first time as Flamengo's coach, the first booing this Sunday. And not because the team is playing badly, and not because he can't set up the team, but because of his attitude or lack of attitude. And about the defensive sector issue, what I think is important for us to talk about here is this. Pablo Gaudêncio from the channel Ó, Meu Mengão É, he posted a video here that I found interesting. Let's listen here, check this out. What a panel is this, huh? Channel Mengo?
Let's start this video here with that old phrase. It's February, crisis in Gavia, right? But why is there a crisis in Gavia? And now the narrative starts showing up. Felipe lost the world because of his statement yesterday at the beginning of June. I'm not even going to get into that. I don't feel like talking about it. But I want to talk about something I've already mentioned to you before, which is the group management by the duo Lennon-Staller, whom I've been talking about here for a while now, and how ridiculous it is, because one of them brings in a defender to be the fourth center back, but this fourth center back is earning more than the two starters. But then, okay, the guy who came in to be the fourth center back, today, he plays better than the two starters, but is he playing in the main games? No, he's not. Why? Because there's no more autocracy on the planet.
There's no meritocracy.
Leo Lopez Dorada is a starter in every game, and the guy you brought in to earn more than him to be the fourth center back doesn't play. Then you take your guy here from the last 4 months, who's been the best player on the field in the main games. He doesn't play. Then you take the team and play without a striker in a final. Then you take a player who makes his debut for the team in the Brasileirão, scores a goal and celebrates, drinking, literally disrespecting the institution. Then you take another one who, in a national derby against our biggest rivals, gets sent off for a childish elbow in a final. And what happens? Nothing happens to this player. There was even a fine, right?
They said there would be, right? I don't know what.
Flamengo is like Minalandia because no one is held accountable, not even Mulaney. He did that little clown act with Webergol, another with Pedro, did it with Mateus Gonçalves, but didn't do it anymore. Stalin only thinks about promoting himself so he can leave for Europe, and Flamengo is adrift without leadership, without anyone to hold people accountable. The fans are average nowadays, they're calm, that's the most that will happen. It's just shouting on social media, things will stay the same. And look, I'm not even in favor of firing Lenin, but something has to be done. And if it weren't for those guys from Sao Paulo choking last year, things would have been much worse. It's no coincidence that friends from the government showed me last year conversations where they were very worried about the future of Flamengo's play club. With the dynamic duo, Lenin is there, in charge of Flamengo's soccer. I'm telling you, call the president, talk to the president. I'm saying it here, president. It's a sign that things are bad. Look.
I got what he meant, right? The joke there, right? About Lenin and Stalin and all that, I got it. He's not asking for Felipe Luiz's head yet. He's talking about the lack of leadership I mentioned after the game, the lack of a supervisor, the lack of someone to be in control. These players who are at Sapucaí, who are drinking, and man, it has nothing to do with some of the main players on the team. Pedro Arrascaeta, man, just to make it clear, okay? Everyone already knows who they are, so name them. Everyone already knows. Everyone already knows which players have been causing problems, right? One of them is the guy who threw the elbow in the Super Cup final. Anyway, I think we have a problem to solve, which is this lack of leadership, right? Because the player is on break, he can do whatever he wants, but if he's an athlete, he has to be held accountable. Look, you're not going to do this because you have an important match the day after tomorrow. And I've already talked about this, now you can't. And he spoke very well, right? Pablo from the Memengão channel spoke very well about the issue of meritocracy, which doesn't exist at Flamengo, man. It doesn't exist at Flamengo. And that's unbearable because otherwise Cebolinha would play the whole game, man. I've never seen Cebolinha as the best on the team, and he doesn't get the chance to play a full game. Everton Araujo is the top midfielder with Bulgari, yet hasn't been playing. Vitão is the best in defense, and he hasn't been playing. What's going on? Royal is so concerned with saying that the 9 million euros spent on Royal were worth it. Now that Varela is a starter again, but it seems like there's no interest in having Varela as a starter. They're trying everything they can. Royal might even be a starter tomorrow against Madureira. So this whole meritocracy thing really bothers me, okay? It bothers me a lot. Yeah? We also had Lula from the community here, my great friend Lula, saying something important here.
Look, the year is starting. It's under the command of Felipe Luís, but it feels like we're being led by former coaches from past seasons. And then you...
Is it hard, Guilherme?
It's done by Jose Boto, the director of football. It seems like it is, yes. Do you have the courage to confront Felipe? The unique philosophy of soccer with Almond that's in the current management's PDG is you, Guto.
Exactly. It's going to be Fabio Paulo.
Flamengo's football director or the president will have to come down, leave that wonderful office.
Soon, BAP will have to do something, right?
Yeah.
Put his foot down.
And set things straight.
He's going to cry to BAP at any moment.
I'm absolutely sure that the current management, which she doesn't want, will stay at Flamengo, just like in previous seasons.
I don't want to cry, so...
Here's the thing, let's join hands and cheer together. And when it comes down to it, the one with unity wins. Let's each start doing our part, because when we do our part, the stands connect with the field, and the field connects with the soccer department, and the soccer department connects with the club's president and board. And then see, that's how everything fits together, right? Everything runs perfectly smoothly, and when we have two heads, what is it? It's just a party. The party of life is about to start. Danilo Nagel, my man, here's some real talk about the cake of the crew. If it has to be another way, the comparison will happen. Now, if it's about love, today it's about love. That's what the fans are dying to do. But it depends on you guys. Do you really want love? You guys will want it. Yeah, if you're ready, make mistakes. You'll have to make people smile. The decision is in your hands. Got it. The year has already started for us. The year has already started. It didn't start the way we expected. There's a lack of will, so we need to put ourselves into football. Flamengo, do your part perfectly and lightly, okay? Because the players on the field will do their part. Because the Flamengo Rowing Club is paying, and paying very well, for us to watch penny football.
That's it. That's it. It's Lula da Raça. Perfect, right? There needs to be accountability. Right now, it just seems like a group with none, doing whatever they want and likely facing relegation. There's no accountability for anything. I've already discussed this. There's a lot of money missing, little accountability, a lot of money, little accountability. That's it. I invite you to subscribe to the channel, turn on notifications by clicking the bell, and leave a cool like on the video. Greetings, red and black fans. This is Flamengo, and let me enjoy my pool with my son.